Kyle Larson walked into Las Vegas as the man everyone expected to beat, not just because of reputation, not just because of past wins, but because everything about his weekend pointed in one direction: speed, control, confidence. The number 5 car did not look like a contender. It looked like the race was already his. From the moment the green flag dropped, Larson showed exactly why the expectations were so high. The car fired off strong, settled into rhythm quickly, and once he reached clean air, it was a completely different level compared to the rest of the field. Las Vegas is a track where balance and tire management separate the good from the great, and Larson had both working perfectly. Early in the race, he began slicing through competitors with ease. It did not look aggressive or desperate. It looked calculated. Every move was clean. Every lap was controlled. And once he reached the front, the tone of the race changed completely. Larson was not just leading. He was managing the race. He went on to win Stage 1, and it was not even a surprise. The car was stable over long runs, the lap times were consistent, and no one could mount a serious challenge. Even when the field tightened up after restarts, Larson would pull away within a handful of laps. It was the kind of performance that makes other teams start thinking about second place instead of the win. Stage 2 told the same story. If anything, Larson looked even stronger. The number 5 car came alive on longer runs, and while others began to fall off, he maintained pace. Tire wear did not hurt him the way it hurt others. His lines stayed clean. His exits stayed sharp. It was a clinic in intermediate track racing. He secured Stage 2 as well, stacking maximum points and reinforcing what everyone watching already understood. This race was his to lose. And that is exactly where everything changed. Late in the race, a caution flag came out that reset the entire field. In NASCAR, cautions are always moments of opportunity, but they are also moments of risk. Strategy becomes critical. Execution becomes everything. And for a team that had done almost everything right, this was the one moment they could not afford to get wrong. Larson came down pit road as the leader, with control of the race still firmly in his hands. The expectation was simple: a clean stop, a solid restart, and the number 5 would drive away again. But that is not what happened. The pit stop was slow, not just slightly off, not just a minor delay, but enough to change the entire race. Positions were lost. Time slipped away. And when Larson exited pit road, the reality hit immediately. He was no longer in control. He was buried in traffic, from first to around 8th place. In a matter of seconds, a dominant performance across 2 stages was erased. This is where Las Vegas shows its true nature. It is not just about speed, it is about track position. Clean air matters. Being out front allows a driver to dictate the race, manage tires, and control the pace. But once you are stuck behind other cars, everything changes. Dirty air takes away grip. Corners become harder to navigate. Passing becomes a challenge, even if your car is faster. Larson lined up for the restart, knowing exactly what he had lost. When the green flag waved again, the field surged forward, and immediately the race turned chaotic. Cars were stacked tightly. Every position was contested. And Larson, instead of controlling the race from the front, was now fighting just to move forward. He did what he could. There were moments where the speed was still visible, moments where he would gain ground, pick off a position, close in on the group ahead. But every time he made progress, the nature of the track worked against him. The closer he got to other cars, the harder it became to maintain that momentum. The advantage he had in clean air was gone, and the clock was working against him. Up front, drivers like Denny Hamlin were executing perfectly. Clean laps, no mistakes, strong restarts. Everything Larson had done earlier in the race was now being done by someone else at the exact moment it mattered most. Larson was chasing instead of leading, and that is a completely different race. Lap after lap, he tried to recover. He searched for different lines, adjusted his approach, looked for openings. But Las Vegas does not easily give up positions in the closing laps, especially against top competition. The field had tightened, the margins were smaller, and the opportunity to regain control of the race had already passed. By the time the final laps arrived, the story was clear. Larson was not going to win. He continued to fight, continued to push, and managed to climb slightly from where he restarted. But the damage had already been done. The window was closed. When the checkered flag waved, Larson crossed the line in 7th place. 7th. On paper, it is not a terrible finish. It adds points. It keeps momentum alive in the standings. But anyone who watched that race knows the truth behind that number. This was a race he should have won. A race where he had the fastest car. A race where he controlled both stages. A race where everything was executed perfectly until the one moment that mattered most. And that is what makes it so significant. NASCAR at this level is not just about building speed. It is about executing under pressure, pit crews, strategy calls, timing, communication. Everything has to come together at the right moment, because one mistake, even a small one, can erase hours of dominance. That is exactly what happened to the number 5 team. The slow pit stop did not just cost track position. It changed the entire dynamic of the race. It forced Larson into traffic. It took away clean air. It turned a controlled race into a recovery drive. And in modern NASCAR, recovery is rarely enough. What makes this even more frustrating is how complete Larson's performance was before that moment. He was not lucky. He was not surviving. He was dominating. The car had speed on short runs, speed on long runs, and the balance to handle everything the track threw at it. There were no warning signs, no indication that anything was about to go wrong. Just one moment on pit road. That is the difference between winning and finishing 7th. For Hendrick Motorsports, this race still showed something important. The speed is there. The new Chevrolet body is competitive. The number 5 team is capable of controlling races and putting themselves in position to win. But it also exposed something equally important. Execution cannot slip, because the competition is too strong. Drivers like Hamlin are not going to give away opportunities. If you hand them track position, they will take it, and they will not look back. And that is exactly what happened in Las Vegas. Larson handed over control of the race, and someone else finished the job. Looking ahead, this race will not be remembered for the 7th place finish. It will be remembered as the race that got away, the one where everything was done right until it was not. And those are the races that stay with teams, because they know how rare it is to have a car that dominant. They know how hard it is to control a race from start to finish, and they know that when you get that opportunity, you have to close it out. Larson did everything right behind the wheel, but NASCAR is never just about the driver. It is about the entire team, and in Las Vegas, for one crucial moment, the team missed. That was all it took. A guaranteed victory turned into a lesson. A dominant performance turned into a missed opportunity. And a race that should have ended in victory lane ended with the number 5 car crossing the line in 7th, wondering what could have been.